Hey, good morning guys. Welcome back to Heiko Shaves. Today we're going to do the last shave with one of JR's razors that he loaned to me. We still have the Rex console sitting here and the brass, the final cut by Yaqi. And I will unfortunately have to give them back to JR. I really want to get that going. We have made quite some content with it. And today, the final shave that I can think of that I haven't done, and I promise you guys, is compare the $28 Yaqi, the final cut, whatever version this is, versus its brass brethren, which JR loaned to us. So we're going to use those two, both out of the house Yaqi. We're going to use a Derby Extra Super Stainless Steel Double-Edged Blade. Let's get two of those out of the box here, and then we're going to load the razors. But before we do that, let me put on some pre-shave. Using the Italian Prep again this morning. Easy peasy. You know, it's like a universal cream. You can really use it, you know, if you have pimples, put it on your pimple. If you have sunburn, put it on your sunburn. If you have an insect bite, put it on that. And that's perfectly fine. I just, a couple days ago, gave myself some major razor burn down here. Again, in a hurry, grabbing the wrong razor, not paying attention, going way too fast. You know, the first pass right out of the gate was against the grain, you know, because I thought, oh, Heiko's skin is tough now. Nope. No, wasn't good. So I've been nursing this along, always putting some prep on, you know. Every time I look in the mirror when I'm in the bathroom or whatever, I see that red spot down there. I just put a little prep on, and that's supposed to help it. And it did. I mean, it healed up pretty quickly. It's still a little rashy, a little red, so we need to be a little careful down there. What else are we going to use? So I have this huge tub of fine 21st century shave soap sitting around, which since the initial unboxing and the first shave with it, I haven't touched. We're going to use that, and we're going to use the fine aftershave that matches it. And again comes out my favorite Badger, really the only Badger brush I currently own. The one that I made myself out of a used handle and put the knot in there. I really actually kind of like it. So let's, we have that. Let's put the blades into the final cut, Yaqi final cut. The, you know, the cast zinc, pretty crudely looking if you are honest. It's not a fine machine piece. It's kind of rough, but it works, and it's adjustable, and it costs $28, and there's not much competition to that, you know, especially at the quality level that they deliver and the shave that it delivers. It's not a slouch. It's not a, you know, like a cuddly puppy or like a little kitten that's just very soft and gentle. It's not. No, it's a you know, it's a stout little adjustable razor. But we're always looking for the daily shave, for the repeated abuse with a razor blade on your skin, and we don't want to see anything aggressive. And I think this is still mild enough but efficient enough that you can do a daily shave without hurting yourself. So one is loaded. Let's do the second one here. This is the Yaqi, the final cut in brass, CNC machined, completely different animal. There is nothing cast here on this thing. Very nice, serialized, so it has a serial number on it. I mean, if Yaqi actually keeps track of those numbers, maybe then in the future, 40 years from now, people that collect vintage razors then can look up when this razor was made by Yaqi in China. But I doubt it, that it's going to be, you know, it's not going to be a repeat of Gillette where you can actually look up when something was made and where it was made. And, you know, I don't know. The society is changing. People are, you know, kind of in this throwaway mode. When something isn't working right anymore, they chug it. Not like us, vintage razors, and we collect them and we clean them up. All right, second blade in. Tighten that up and make sure we're at number 1. So both are set at number 1. Here is a side profile. They for sure look different. You know, the fit and finish is definitely different, but overall same concept. adjustable razor. All right, let's grab some water and put it in my face. On top of my prep, it actually gets a little foamy when you rub it a little. So I like it. It's also slightly mentholated. So now the fine soap and my badger here. Emesis basin, I have been soaking the badger. Shake that out, go right into the tub. This is kind of a semi-hard soap. So it's not like the creamy soaps that I keep failing to lather properly. This is a hard soap, or more or less hard. So we can lather this up, get some soap here in the tub. And once we are loaded, we take some more water. And that stuff gets going. What is the... Oh, I forgot. What is it called again? It's the Barber Blue. Barber Blue by Fine. Lathers up just fine. That's a soap I can handle. Face lathering. But you guys convinced me. So some of those softer soaps that I have been struggling to lather properly in my face, I will just remember to just do a bowl lather for softer stuff so that I can get the consistency right, the amount of water right in a bowl before I then go into my face. I think that's going to be a good compromise. And I expand my horizon by bowl lathering once in a while. And then, you know, the winter is around the corner, so I'm still looking for someone to sponsor a what is it called? A scuttle? No. Yeah. You know, so I can experience the warm lather. I don't have any, I just have a couple shave bowls. And a little collection of brushes now. I mean, my brush collection here in front of me on display. My wife always asks me, do you have to have so many shave brushes? And it's like, yep, you gotta have some variety, you know, else it gets boring. So I think that's fine. Worked it right into the nostrils too. All right, so one side, the $28 one, and the other side, the brass one. There they are. So let's start with, let's do the right side with a cheapo, 28 bucks. Might be a little bit more aggressive than the brass actually. So we already established that the Ultima, Yaqi Ultima is the stainless steel adjustable that they make, that the brass is actually milder than that stainless steel version. Oh yeah, I was just recently told by a commenter on one of my videos that he doesn't like the way I store my razors. Got to change it now, of course. I got to come up with a way of storing this a little prettier. All for you guys. If you have any suggestions on mass display storage for razors, all I ever can find is like maybe 4 or 5 razors next to each other, but then I would have to have like a rack and a rack and a rack to make this all happen. If you know of a option to have maybe like 20 razors in a row and they all neatly stack up next to each other, I've already looked at test tube stands, but I think the holes for test tubes are a little too large. Some people use pipe smoking pipe stands, supposedly. I have no idea. I've even seen someone modify a cabinet that goes on the wall to display a spoon collection to actually hang razors into. So then you can only use like every other hook or whatever. But so, I mean, people are pretty, you know, pretty smart sometimes. All right, here's the shave. So yeah, I have a Derby blade in there. What was it? First time using those. Derby Extra with a green label. And yeah, I now recall, I haven't shaved with this final cut here much. It is a pretty feisty little, efficient little thing. It's giving you a lot of blade feel. I mean, here on the clean side you can see there is quite some, I'm always pointing in the wrong direction, the lens is over there. Quite some blade gap. So now I kind of remember the stainless steel Ultima in this one are actually fairly similar in aggression. And I would say if someone as a beginner, really total beginner, not like me, 2 months, senior, experienced veteran of wet shaving, I can kind of handle this without majorly injuring myself. And this is at setting 1. But if you are completely new to this and you buy this as your first razor because you like the look of it, even in setting 1, you can hurt yourself. Or if you don't cut yourself, which, you know, if you keep a good angle, very little pressure and good stroke, and, you know, do short strokes in the difficult corners, you might get away with not cutting yourself, but you could probably cause some major irritation of your skin. This isn't a mild razor at all. Number one, I mean, there's going to be some comments where people say, oh yeah, nothing below 5, you know, they shave at highest setting, and kudos. You know, if you are one of those people that can do that, let's do my still kinda irritated section down here very gently. If you can do that at a 6, or yeah, it goes to a 6, that's good. Good for you. But people like me and others, we are looking for this mild, gentle shave that doesn't irritate the living daylights out of our skin. And the Yaqi, the final cut, the Zinc, cast zinc version is definitely not it. So here's the brass version. And as I mentioned in the comparison to the stainless steel, this one was significantly milder. And yeah, first stroke, and I can't say this is significantly milder than its $28 Zinc brother. Ooh. Okay. It's efficient. It is efficient. What does that mean? How can it be something mild but efficient, but then also aggressive and efficient? Efficiency means that it is able to cut your whiskers down. That's the efficiency side of the house. So if you have a mild, inefficient razor, you have to like go over it and go over it again to finally, with that little bit of edge that engages the stubble, to actually get it off. So that's an inefficient razor. If you have something mild or that feels mild, but it's still efficient, it is able to take your whiskers off without irritating your skin. My definition, you know, you let me know if that's wrong. But if you have something aggressive, in most cases, what comes along with aggression is that it is efficient at the same time, because it has more blade exposure, there's more blade edge showing and more blade exposure. We talked about this. So you have a blade gap between the comb, the open or closed comb, and the blade. That's the blade gap. The blade exposure is when the blade, here's a straight edge. When the blade, if you have an imaginary line between the comb and the top here, a straight line, and if the blade protrudes past that straight line, that's a positive blade exposure. If the blade does not protrude past this imaginary line between the comb and the top, it's a negative blade exposure. Or if it's right on the edge, then, you know, neutral, kind of, it's right there. So the further the blade is below that imaginary line, the milder the razor is going to feel, but also the less efficient it's going to be. And it's this balancing act between mildness and efficiency. If you make a mild razor, it can be that this mild razor just doesn't shave. We just recently tried the Prismatic by PAA, and the Prismatic, it is mild, but it also very inefficient. I mean, it took me almost 5 passes to get to a acceptable result. All right, let's lather up. Let's do another pass. Let's talk less, shave more. We're already 16 minutes into the shave. I'm hoping I'm not boring you guys to death. And I know from the comment section, most of you guys are seasoned wet shavers, but occasionally we have some folks here that want to know, you know, how one razor stacks up against the other. Maybe they have 2-3 razors at home. They want to add another one, and they want to find out from as many different reviewers, how is this razor? You know, and if you have a person on video that, you know, shaves with every razor at like highest setting, and then they say, oh, this is very mild and very, you know, gentle, and then they buy this thing, and then they're shocked how aggressive and, you know, where the bleeding is happening in their face after the first shave. So this soap dries up pretty quick, but I've also been rambling a lot. So here we go. Again, the final cut, the Zinc alloy version, more aggressive across the grain. Don't be discouraged on the hunt for your perfect razor. Just keep trying. If you're not grossed out by using some raising, there's the word again, the shaving implement that someone else has used in the past, go and look in the secondhand market. You can always disinfect it's metal. You can disinfect it. It cleans really nicely, easily. All right, here's the brass now against the grain. Correction, across the grain. And if you buy a razor that you don't like raising with, it's really funny how my brain works. I spit out words sometimes that are a total mixture of English and German, like raising, because rasieren is the verb, the shaving in German. So rasieren, razor, raising, you know. So I turn in a noun for a thing, the razor, which shaves, it doesn't rasier, into this. So German word of the day. Did I just nick myself? No. Okay, good. Yeah, the brass is less aggressive than its stainless steel or zinc counterparts. That's a fact. Nobody's going to convince me of anything different. The stainless steel, if you are looking for a more aggressive version, go for the stainless steel. If you look for something that starts mild but can be bumped up to aggressive, go for the brass version. All right, let's do pass number 3. Now the derby blades are my first use of those blades fresh out of the package. Not bad, not bad. The first pass, if you have maybe like a day or two stubble on your face, the first pass will always feel the most rough, or how shall I say? It feels like the razor is more aggressive than it really is, because there is so much material that it grabs into and maybe it tugs a little bit. So it feels like the blade is like, oh my goodness, right there. But once most of the stubbles are gone and you're on your second pass or maybe third, most of those really efficient razors, they simmer down a little bit. They don't feel as intimidating anymore. So the intimidation factor is gone a little bit because you're going across smooth skin. Yeah, still making noise. across the grain. So I wouldn't be hesitant to shave with this on a daily basis. I just, you know, would have to be awake, alert, not doing that here half dark in the bathroom. It's really not bad. On number one, the first pass, it felt very bladey. Oh, here, let's do against the grain down here too. Just gently. It's right where my injury is. So I wouldn't mind just leaving a little bit there. I just don't want to irritate it again. So we just leave that there. This soap dries up really fast. So just by doing half my face, the other side is already flaking off. So I'm always getting more water every time I dip my brush there in the emesis basin, just a little drop. So fresh. All right. And now against the grain with a brass brother here. See how, you know, light I hold this. I treat this with respect. You know, no much pressure. I mean, some people, they hold it like as if they have a hammer in their hand. The hardest part is always the curved sections of your face to get around it, but I think I manage. I don't know how well this brass razor will hold up over time. With use and water exposure and soap scum on it and all that stuff. I don't know how nice it will look after years of using it daily, but out of the three, here's the third. So the zinc version and the stainless steel are mine. Out of those three, the brass would be my choice. So if I could go back in time and decide which Yaqi, either the Final Cut or Ultima I would buy, it would be this brass one here. Because it is, out of the three, the mildest. And like I said, you have the option to go more aggressive. You can bump it up to number 2, which, as I just explained with a positive or negative blade exposure and the blade gap, what you do with this adjuster here is really, where is it? Here we go. You're turning the knob and that lowers the comb. But at the same time, the plane of this imaginary line changes as well. And then suddenly the blade actually pokes out of that imaginary line. So you can make this into a very efficient and much more aggressive razor if you like, but you just have a milder starting point. And I'm really a fan of that. I really do like that. And out of the three, the brass is the mildest at the starting point, and I like that. All right, let me rinse off real quick. All right, so what did we establish? What did we learn? We now know that the $120 brass Yaqi, the Final Cut, is milder than the other Yaqi adjustables, the stainless steel or the zinc. That the Derby blade, the Derby Extra, It's maybe not the sharpest blade in the shed here, but it's fine. It's a good blade. We got a smooth shave out of it on both sides. I have a little section that I left alone just because I had some, you know, some slight bleeding going on from just rushing through it and just being way too aggressive. My own fault, not the razor's fault. The soap, the fine soap is fine. It's a very mild scented soap. I do like it. It does dry up quickly, and then you get the flaky crust on top of your lather, and then you suddenly have like white powder everywhere, which is like it's snowing outside. But overall, good stuff. It's actually made in Italy, so I don't think Fine really produces anything themselves. They just have other manufacturers manufacture soap and aftershave and the razors and the brushes and whatnot for them. Here is a Fine brush made in China. This one here is made in Italy. I'm assuming the aftershave that we're going to be putting on here, the Barber Blue by Fine, is also manufactured for Fine Accoutrements LLC in Bergamo, Italy. Italy has a lot of good barber stuff. I mean, you know, as I mentioned before, the Italians, they had a key role in inventing all this shaving and barber business. Oh, this is giving me a good burn, huh? Yeah, alcohol based. I don't know exactly. Is there a list of ingredients? Nope. Klassisches Rasierwasser. Oh yeah, another German word. Aftershave. So after the shave. What we call that stuff in German is Rasierwasser, which is shaving water. Rasierwasser. Dopo bara classico, that's Italian. Après rasage classique, that's probably French. Classic aftershave in English. Alrighty guys, so yeah, very good, feels good. Has a little bit of this glycerin feel to it, so a little bit of some slickness from the aftershave. Skin is happy, besides that little spot down there. We are through with JR's razors. Now my next recording with those razors is going to be the cleaning procedure that I put them through before I throw them back into packaging into a box and then ship them off. So bye-bye Rex console and the brass Yaqi, the final cut. Was a pleasure using them. I really am impressed by the console, because Matt Pisarcik says that that's the milder razor of, you know, the two adjustables they make, the Ambassador and the console, and he's right. It is more user-friendly. It is milder in its starting point at number 1. And here the brass, the final cut, same story. It is the milder of the bunch at Yaqi. And I mean, if I ever put the stainless steel on the market, eBay secondhand, which this probably has been used twice now, I'm just not a big fan of this initial aggressiveness of this thing. So maybe I get a brass one to have it around as a cast member. You know, there are certain razors that I probably will never get rid of because I like them so much. And the brass one would fit right in there. To have something to compare it, or have cast members to compare other stuff to, I should say. So this one and the T2 would probably be a good comparison too. Or the Progress and this one. So we'll see what we're going to do. Alrighty guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for shaving with me this morning. Give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. Helps the channel, the algorithm. And I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.